Hey everyone, what's going on? So a few days ago I saw this article about Gabby Petito and how she was in an old video that was commemorating the victims of Sandy Hook. So I figured I would look up this video on YouTube and watch it. And I found the video and it came out on August 25th, 2013, which is very significant to what I've been recently talking about. I'll come back to this, but I just want to point out one thing really quick. Notice she's not on the screen here at all. And it's 3:18 into the video. And she kind of fades in and she's fully in this video by herself. This whole picture goes away with 3:19. Let's just see this here. So she's in this video now. 3:19, right? She's by herself. She appears in this video for the first time at 3:19 in the video. And what's interesting is this video was released on August 25th. If you go from August 25th to the anniversary of Sandy Hook, it's 3 months, 19 days. And when you look up Gabby Petito, her birthday is 319, 319. And in the language of gematria, if you write out Adam Peter Lanza, the kid who supposedly shot up Sandy Hook, his name equals 319 in the Francis Bacon ciphers that I've been saying over and over are very, very important. Adam Peter Lanza. Let me type it out really quick. Adam Peter Lanza. 319. And this is interesting because this is a number that we've associated with death, right? The word killing in satanic gematria equals 319. That's why the bassist for Slipknot named Paul Gray, he died 319 days after his birthday. And Slipknot has that song called Gematria, the killing name, right? And we also had like the death of Prince, the singer, in 2016. He died 319 days after his birthday. And, he has a song called 319. He also died on April 21st, 421, and he has a song called I Would Die For, and the letter U, and the U is the 21st letter. Think about that, 421. He dies on 421. He dies 319 days after his birthday. Has a song called 319. And earlier, before he died, his former girlfriend named Vanity had died, and she died on the day, leaving 319 days in the year. And once again, the word killing is 319. Gabby Petito born on 319. They don't put her in the Sandy Hook video until 3 minutes and 19 seconds into the video. That video released 3 months and 19 days before the anniversary of Sandy Hook. All the world's a stage. But if you go to these videos the video I put out last night even, just go to this video and watch this video. I talked about how I think Gabby Petito, that Sandy Hook thing, is synced up to this Batman narrative that I've been following. And this Batman narrative is really synced up to James Bond and the Batman shooting. They had the preview for the film of the James Bond film Skyfall before the shooting happened. And that in that preview of James Bond Skyfall, it shows the building in China that says Aurora on it. And then supposedly James Egan Holmes shot up Aurora, Colorado, the opening night of the Batman film in 2012, and then later that year we got Sandy Hook. And in that Batman film, they have a map and it used to say South Hinckley and they changed it to Sandy Hook and they even put their finger on it in the movie. So what are the odds later that year? We get the Sandy Hook shooting right after Hurricane Sandy and a whole bunch of other stuff. But, I'm just pointing out this James Bond thing, and James Bond is really important to the moon landing. Neil Armstrong, the first guy to walk on the moon, he died on Sean Connery's birthday. Sean Connery, known as James Bond. And then Sean Connery, he died on Halloween last year, which just so happened to be Apollo 11 astronaut Michael Collins' birthday. And then Michael Collins would later go on to die on April 28th, the 118th day of the year, of cancer, and cancer equals 118. And, the moon landing was in the time of cancer on Apollo 11 with Neil Armstrong and Michael Collins, and the list goes on here. Just want to point out this narrative, right? Been talking about this forever. And let's go back to this video. August 25th. If you look up Sean Connery, that is Sean Connery's birthday. That was Sean Connery's 83rd birthday even in 2013. Sean Connery was 83 years old. James Bond equals 83 in gematria. The word moon equals 83 in gematria. Daniel Craig, the current James Bond actor, his name equals 83 in gematria. The word murder also equals 83. Wyoming, where Gabby Petito was found, also equals 83 in gematria. Michael Collins, the Apollo 11 astronaut that Sean Connery died on his birthday, Michael Collins died 8 months and 3 days after Sean Connery's birthday and 83 days before the 52nd anniversary of the moon landing. And of course, James Bond also equals 52. Let's type it out really quick. James Bond equals 52. It was the 52nd anniversary of the moon landing, 83 days before, right? Sean Connery also equals 52. Sean Connery, 52. Notice he also equals 164, and James Bond also equals 164. And look at Sandy Hook here. Sandy Hook, 164. You know, Daniel Craig, I believe, even equals 164. Daniel Craig, 164. So, you know, the number 56 is what I was looking at here because, you know, it's interesting. Sandy Hook happened 56 years after the year 1956. I can't remember if it was founded in that year too. It was either 56 or 58, the school was, but, you know, Adam Peter Lanza equals 56. Sean Connery also equals 56. So that was a big number. Coronavirus is 56 and 70 and so on. And, you know, think about 56 too. 56 plus 56 is 112, and Sandy Hook equals 112. Happens 56 years after the year 56. And notice Sandy Hook also equals 40 and 41. And the lady who put that video up, that music video, Irreplaceable, her name equals 40 and 41. Also, this number 86 that I have followed a whole lot. Also, 170, which is a number I've talked about that's important to the moon. So, very interesting here. Let me go back to this post, though. There really is something, I think, important to this, the volcano symbolism. If you go back and look at some of my old videos here, I talk a lot about volcano symbolism, and what's interesting, I was following this number 129, and then with volcano symbolism, and 129 days after my birthday, there was a volcano eruption in Reykjavik, Iceland, and Reykjavik equals 129, and it was on 3/19, Gabby Petito's birthday. And even crazier is the night before, my son had woke up, and I randomly watched this movie with Will Ferrell in it on Netflix called Eurovision Song Contest, the something, I don't know, I can never remember what the other part is, but the Will Ferrell movie, Eurovision Song Contest. And in the opening scenes of this movie, he sings a song called Volcano Man, and, you know, he's from Iceland. And then later that day, there was a volcano eruption in Iceland, 129 days after my birthday, and I was talking about 129 being this important number. So it's interesting that happened on Gabby Petito's birthday. And then, you know, of course, like a few days later on the 82nd day of the year, the kid in Talladega Nights with Will Ferrell died. And he died age 28, and the word volcano equals 28 and also 82. That's why I've been following this date 10/6 a whole lot with volcano symbolism. Because it's 82 days after Will Ferrell's birthday and 82 days before what would have been this kid's birthday. And volcano equals 82, and it was synced up to Talladega Nights, and can't even remember it all, but I can't remember what it was. I think Talladega was like 82 days before Will Ferrell's birthday or something. There's a whole bunch of 82 stuff that was going on with it, and, you know, the date 10/6 is also interesting because when I think of the number 319, I think of Michael Jordan a lot. And Michael Jordan originally retired on 10/6. And this is a day I've talked about a lot with earthquakes and stuff too. Because the original capital of Philadelphia used to be called or of the country Jordan. It used to be called Philadelphia, and then it was destroyed by earthquakes in the year 106 AD. Think about Michael Jordan and how he retired on this day, and his final game ever was in Philadelphia and so on. But after he came out of that retirement, the first game that he played was on 3/19. And I mention this even more so because they just came out that Space Jam movie, the newest one. It came out on Will Ferrell's birthday this year. And the old one just so happened to come out on November 15th. It was in the year 1996, so it was the 320th day, but typically 11/15 is the 319th day of the year. So I don't know, there's just something that's interesting with how that links up to Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan just seems, there's something very important. Next year's the year of the Tiger. He's going to be 59 years old, and the word Tiger equals 59, and there's something definitely related to that. And I'll talk about that maybe in a little bit here, but, because the word tiger has a lot of it, it shares a lot of the same gematria as the word Joker. And, we also had that Joker film in 2019, and it was synced up to South Park, and it was also synced up to China. And then South Park got banned in China, right? And then they came out with that episode where right after the episode where they got banned in China, they came out with the episode where Cartman turned into a pig every time the doctor tried to give him his vaccine. I mean, just think about that, right? This was before coronavirus, just a couple months before coronavirus gets big. South Park has an episode where they get banned in China, and then the next episode is about Cartman turning into a pig because he doesn't want to get his vaccine. And it was also, in 2019, it was a Chinese pig year, right? So that's why, part of the reason why I realized these Francis Bacon ciphers had relevance, because it was a pig year, and I was thinking about pig and bacon and so on. And I'll come back to that in a second, because I had a synchronicity with bacon today, oddly enough, and it led me to Batman and some interesting things with Jack Nicholson. But a few more things with this. So Gabby Petito, they reported her missing on September 11th, and with Sandy Hook equaling 112 and Adam Lanza weighing 112 pounds, and his birthday was typically the 112th day of the year, and Sandy Hook equals 112. Even his initials, A is the first letter, L is the 12th letter, AL, 112, right? But 112 is the emergency dialing code in other parts of the world, and 911 is the emergency dialing code in the United States. So, just sticks out. But if you go from 9/11 to Sandy Hook, it's 95 days, or a span of 95 days. And if you go from Sandy Hook to Gabby Petito's birthday, it's 95 days. And they released this video. They told us about this video that she was in that involved Sandy Hook on September 27th, the Jesuit anniversary, the day leaving 95 days in the year. And 95 is an important number to the Jesuits and so on, Even talked about this a million times, but Martin Luther actually was born on my birthday, exactly 499 years later, and he had the 95 Theses, right, to counter the Jesuits, right? And 499 is the 95th prime number, and my name equals 90. My Dan Barrett equals 95, and Daniel Edward Barrett equals 95. So, there's a whole lot. And then Martin Luther King Jr., he died on the 95th day of the year. But I'm pointing this out because the song is called Irreplaceable, that equals 499 in these Fibonacci ciphers that I've been shown to follow. If you go back and watch other videos, you'll understand why I'm looking at these ciphers, but synchronicity and some other things. But it's 499, right? The 95th prime number. And this Deb Hinson lady in the Fibonacci, her name equals 666, right? So, and I'm pretty sure if you write out, there's a relationship with 95 and 666 even. I feel like if you write it out, what is it? 666. Yeah, it equals 95 even. 666 equals 95. So there's some type of relationship there, but anyway, I just want to talk about a synchronicity, then I got to go to bed. But so today, like, I woke up this morning and I was leaving for work, and my girlfriend was sitting outside on the porch smoking, and I really don't even see her that often in the morning. If I do, I don't even really talk to her before I go to work. But she's like, we're making BLTs for supper tonight. And I thought, well, cool, but that's weird because we don't usually even decide what we're making for supper or anything until later in the day. In fact, she'll like text me and then get mad at me or whatever, it's like, it's a true thing that people fight over what they want to eat. But, sorry, I'm losing my voice, but, I just thought it was odd, and she said BLTs and I was like, oh, crazy. And then I got to work and I was there for a little bit, just kind of killing time. And I looked at my phone and the second, right below the headline story was bacon prices skyrocket to record levels. I'm like, what are the odds? I find out we're having BLTs for supper. And then one of the headline articles is about how bacon prices are skyrocketing, And I was like, I don't know. And then just a little bit later, the phone rang. It was the first order I had all day. And somebody wanted just bacon on their pizza. And I was like, what is going on with bacon today, right? That was it. Their only topping was bacon. And I was like, that's a pretty odd pizza. So there's a story about bacon after my girlfriend tells me we're having BLTs for supper. And then someone calls and orders a bacon pizza. And I don't know, I just started thinking Francis Bacon, right? That just is the first thing that comes to my mind. I also live in Iowa. And Iowa was really important in 2019, and with Slipknot and the Donald Trump saying he was Batman at the Iowa State Fair on Ben Affleck's birthday and a whole lot more, right? And Iowa's the leading producer of pigs, right? Chinese pig year. Think about pigs and bacon and so on. So I was just trying to figure this out, and I didn't get it, whatever. And I come home, and I don't even know what time it was. It was later tonight. I mowed the yard and stuff, and I came in and I made a couple BLTs, and I went in the living room and I sat on the couch and I looked up at the TV, and my kid was watching YouTube and it had an ad on it with Batman on it. And I was just like, that was the first thing I saw when I looked at the TV today was Batman. And it was right when I got my BLT. So I was like, I wonder if Batman is somehow related to bacon. And I searched Batman bacon or something like that on Yahoo. And I found out that in the 1989 film, the Joker actually doesn't deface. They go to a museum, and he decides not to deface one of the paintings because he likes it. He likes the way it looks. And it just so happens to be a real painting called Figure with Meat by an artist named Francis Bacon. And so I looked up this guy. There's some interesting things with this guy. I mean, he died on April 28th, just like Michael Collins, the 118th day of the year. And next year, April 28th will be the 86th day of the Chinese Tiger Year as well. So, and I've been following 8-6 in relation to that Tiger Year, so the 86th day might be an interesting day as well, but this is also important to Charles de Gaulle of France, and the Tisha B'Av stuff is really synced up to France, and France is really synced up to August 6th, and France is really important to this year as well with 229 that I'm just not going to re-explain it, but it's just interesting. And I'm reading more about this thing here, and this is actually a pope. It's Pope Innocent the 10th, right? And it's actually this drawing, and he made it all ghoulish and put two slabs of meat here, right? And so I just thought that was interesting. It's a pope of all things, right? Think about Francis Bacon and all these connections that I've talked about before with Pope Paul III, and Pope Paul III was the 220th Pope, and then the Francis Bacon gematria, his name equals 220 and whatever, but the guy who did the original here, he died on August 6th. And he was born on 6/6. And if you watch the last video, I talked all about 66 in that last video. So I just thought that was interesting. He even died, 61 days after his birthday at the age of 61. I didn't even write that in here, but August 6th. And the more and more you read about it, you find out that this Pope was also, part of his legacy was also that some other guy named Guido Reni made a painting of the Archangel Michael trampling Satan, and Satan actually looks like Pope Innocent before he was the Pope, right? So that's like one of the things about him, his legacy, and then also this other painting down here by this guy and so on, right? And it's interesting because it's interesting that it even involved the Angel Michael, because I literally just wrote a blog post about how I had Michael just kept showing up in my dreams the other night. And I've talked about this dream theme with the angel Gabriel and so on. I was wondering if there was something important to the angel Michael. And I even pointed out that somewhere in here that the angel Michael's feast day is 9/29. Possibly something will happen related to this day. So I'm like, that's pretty interesting that it leads me, to the Batman, a Batman film from 1989, which, by the way, Tim Burton, I should point this out too. Tim Burton, he just so happened to be born on Sean Connery's birthday too. Tim Burton, the guy who, made all these Batman movies. So I always forget about that, but just interesting that it would connect to the angel Michael, on the angel Michael's feast day. This Pope Innocent X was also the Pope for the majority of the English Civil War, something I've talked about a whole lot too, and how it syncs up to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, because the Cavaliers were a follower of King Charles during the English Civil War. And a lot of the themes that I keep talking about from 2015, like the train wreck video I had, that was linked up to Queen Elizabeth, and the Kanye West and Slipknot narrative was linked up to Queen Elizabeth, and the Field of Dreams narrative was linked up to Queen Elizabeth. So I think there's definitely something important to that. And if she dies, her son, Prince Charles, will become King Charles III even, right? So something I've talked about a whole lot. And oddly enough, his birthday is the 300, it's 11/14. So in a leap year, his birthday is even the 319th day of the year. It just makes me think about how Prince died on Queen Elizabeth's birthday, too. But anyway, I'm just going to keep moving on here, just make it real short. But I just figured, I wonder about Jack Nicholson then, right? Jack Nicholson, Joker. And he shares a birthday with Adam Lanza. Funny. But next year, he's going to turn 85 years old. And this is interesting because think about how this painting is Francis Bacon, right? The guy named Francis Bacon. And if you use the Francis Bacon gematria cipher, the word Joker equals 85. And he was known for being the Joker, right? And he's going to be 85 years old next year, which will be, I'm trying to think, 86. The 80th day of the Tiger year. And the word Tiger equals 85. And his real name, John Joseph Nicholson, equals 86. And his Jack Nicholson in the Francis Bacon ciphers equals 186. And August 6th will be the 186th day of the Tiger year. 186, this big number important to Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. And, Jeff Bezos bought MGM, which is the James Bond film company, and so on. So, I don't know. He's a guy to watch out for. Maybe Michael Keaton's pretty interesting, too. Michael Keaton's in a lot of interesting movies and such. Because, he's the dad in the film Herbie Lovebug. In that Herbie Lovebug movie, Lindsay Lohan is his daughter, and she's wearing that shirt with the blood moon on it with the Golden Gate Bridge. And if you recall, in 2015, all of these narratives I keep talking about, it was really important to Pope Francis's visit to the United States, and that's Joe Biden even met Pope Francis for the first time as the vice president during that time. And he even followed him around and all that because Joe Biden's Catholic and so on, right? And, but when Pope Francis left that year, he finished his trip in Philadelphia. And later that night was the fourth blood moon of the Tetrad and whatever. So he leaves Philadelphia on the Jesuit anniversary. Philadelphia comes from the book of Revelation. And then we have the fourth blood moon of the Tetrad later that night after Pope Francis leaves. And, Pope Francis is named after St. Francis of Assisi, who's also what San Francisco is named after. If you write out Pope Francis, it equals 122. And if you write out San Francisco, it equals 122. And San Francisco is located on the 122nd meridian. Pretty sure San Francisco will be in the 122nd World Series. Or Kansas City. But one last thing is back with the Afghanistan stuff, I talked about the movie I Pet Goat again. And there's this girl wearing a tiger jacket, and she's kind of like waving a flag for the war, the tanks and whatever, right? Think about war, and war also equals 83 with a capital W, and war is also 21, and we're in the year 21, and, a whole lot more. But it's interesting, she's waving, and then she's got this tiger on the back of her thing. And then the skeleton guy, he like pokes her in the back, and then she turns around, and he's got this like stick sticking out of his mouth. And I cannot remember the full connection, but I know a long time ago, Enter the Stars had a video where he connected this I Pet Goat to the movie The Shining with Jack Nicholson. Because at the very end, they have this picture, and they have this guy blowing the same thing that looks a lot like this, right? So I can't remember what the whole connection was, but whenever I see this, I always think about The Shining because of that. Whether it was, no matter what the connection was, it always reminds me of that. It makes me think that there's something important to that, And hold on, I should look up The Shining really quick. The Shining. Just wonder when it came out, like what year? 1980? May 23rd, October 2nd. What's that year here? Well, 21, so it would be 101, so 23 would be the 102nd year, huh? Hold on, let me type it. I gotta put my computer down. I'm holding it so strange, but I wonder what The Shining equals. Well, it's interesting. The Tiger number, a lot of Kobe Bryant numbers. We got a ton of Kobe Bryant numbers. Think about Jack Nicholson and the Lakers and Kobe Bryant too. This number I always associate it with the Jesuits because Pope Francis's real name equals 312. Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 312, and Ignatius of Loyola became a saint on 312, and a whole bunch of other things. Kim Jong-un, his birthday is 3 months and 12 days after the Jesuit anniversary. He became the leader of North Korea on Pope Francis's birthday. And the Korean War lasted 3 years, 1 month, and 12 days. That's why right after we got the R. Kelly story the other day, R. Kelly has the same birthday as Kim Jong-un. And, later that night after the R. Kelly story was in the news, we got the story about North Korea launching a missile or whatever, so. And Kim Jong-un also equals that 129 number that's important to the volcano symbolism, so. I'll just leave it there. Just some interesting synchronicity. It's interesting that the angel Michael actually did come up in some random way that, I didn't even realize Batman was linked to this, but 1989 is also 1989 Batman, 1989 Field of Dreams. I know I documented about a few other movies that I can't think of off the top of my head right now that were important to that, the year 1989. So it was the year of the Earthquake World Series, the same City World Series. Oh well. Can't think of it right now. Doesn't even matter. I gotta go to bed, so have a good one. Peace.